Am I the asshole for refusing to move? My F42 husband M44 and I have been married for 21 years. We have 2 adult children M22 and M24, one is in college out of state and the other is in the Navy. When we first got married, my husband was in Navy, and we spent the first 10 years of our marriage moving from place to place, wherever his new duty station was. I found it hard to make friends, and I could not keep a job, so I made a difficult decision and decided to be a SOM. When he got out of the Navy 11 years ago, he took a job and we moved. 3 years in, he got offered a job in another part of the company, however, it was in another state, so we moved again. We stayed there for 6 years. I went back to college and got my degree and began looking for work. I found a job I liked in my field, and 6 months into working, he said he was offered a job with a new company and wanted to take it, but that would mean we would be moving almost 2,000 miles from where we were in a new state. I reluctantly agreed because the new state would have more job opportunities for me and we would be closer to our family, which is something that we have not had in many years. Last night my husband came up to me and said that there was a job opening in his company and he wanted to apply for it. It would mean a pay raise and better hours, but the caveat would be that we have to move again. We have been living in our new state for 3 years. I love it here. I have an amazing job and I am making great money. I finally have friends and am able to socialize. I told him that I am not moving again. Anytime we have to move, he always leaves first and I end up being responsible for selling, packing the house, and I am not doing that again. Our son's college is only 2 hours from here, we can see him twice a month. If we move, that means we would have at least a day's drive and would only be able to do that once or twice a year. Now my husband is upset with me and guilt-tripping me because he claims I do not support him. I told him that was bullshit because I spent most of my life moving from place to support his career. He told me that I am selfish and he is just trying to provide for us. I told him that we are more than comfortable where we are now, and that if he truly wants to take the job, he will be going alone. Am I the asshole for refusing to move again? Post update. I hope that this is allowed. I apologize for not being able to respond to everyone. And thank you all for your kindness and replies. To answer some questions. 1. My husband and I have been together since I was 15 and he was 17. He joined the Navy right after graduation from high school when he was 18 and I was 16, but had to wait 2 years before we could marry. 2. He works for a company that has plants in 15 states. He is currently in middle management, but if he wants to advance his career further, he would need to go to another plant out of state. 3. Financially we are more than comfortable. We do not need any more money. 4. My son plans to stay in the place he is after college. We have a great relationship with him and he comes home 1 time a month and we see him 1 time a month. My other son comes home on leave whenever he can and stays with us. We are very close to both of the boys. 5. I talked to my husband again tonight and told him quite firmly that moving again was not an option for me. The area he wants to move has very little jobs in my field and specialty in that area and I would need to commute more than an hour one way for a job versus the 20 minutes I have here. We are sandwiched between 2 major cities, and if we move we would be an hour from the most major city. I would also have to take a massive pay cut and work a menial job to build a new network to find employment in my field. 6. My husband is disappointed in me for not wanting to leave. He left to stay with a friend because he needs to think. He doesn't understand why I would force him to turn down an opportunity to advance his career further. I told him to take all the time he needs, but I am not moving again. I said I would revisit the possibility when I am ready for retirement in 15 years but no sooner. Not the asshole. You gave yourself already the answer. You supported his career for 21 years, you gave everything up for him, your social life, your family, even postponed your education. And now, everything is settled, you're doing finally fine too. He accuses you of not supporting him. He should start supporting you for a bit. You did your part, now it's your time to shine. And #X2OOB. And #X2OOB. Edit, JFC. Thank you guys for all of those awards. My mailbox blew up. Not the asshole. He's become accustomed to always getting it his own way with very little pushback. Now that's not just happening, he's trying to guilt and flip it around on you. Stand your ground. It's going to be tough because there's been a pattern over years which he will be loath to give up, but it's now or never for you. Polish that backbone. Moving is so easy for him because he's not doing the hard part. You've sacrificed and moved around for him, and he has the nerve to call you selfish and say you don't support him. He's selfish and emotionally manipulative. It's okay to put yourself first for once. Not the asshole. Edit. Thank you kind internet friends for all of the awards. Edit 2, a word. Not the asshole. Him claiming that you don't support him is ridiculous. Not the asshole. We work to live. We don't live to work. It sounds like you've achieved happiness where you are, and that is a wonderful achievement that you ought not discard in the pursuit of your or your husband's financial aspirations. Your marriage is a partnership, not a dictatorship. The questions that you and your husband need to be asking are, where do you want to spend the next 20 years? Where do you want to retire? If things stayed the way they are, can you live comfortably in retirement? Not the asshole. Relationships should work both ways. 50% of your life has been spent sacrificing both your happiness and career for his benefit. He's never had to do the same for you, nor does it sound like he would. If you had an opportunity to land your dream job that required you to move to another state, I would almost guarantee that your husband would refuse to move. So don't feel even a little bit guilty that you're putting yourself first for once, since he never has. You moved frequently throughout your marriage to further his career and at great personal sacrifice to yourself. He got used to your marriage revolving around his wants and needs and has suddenly discovered that he isn't the most important person in the universe. Sorry, but your husband isn't just the he is an entitled, chauvinist pig. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. How much are you supposed to sacrifice for him? So far everything has been about him and his job, his wants. You deserve to be happy too. Not the asshole. You are not being selfish, you are taking a stand. After years of you accommodating and supporting him, it's your turn to be the one who matters. You went back to school, and worked hard to put down roots. It's a shame he can't see this. I would seriously think about whether or not your marriage still works for you. I suggest posting on our relationship advice. Not the asshole. Your husband is the one being selfish. He's been uprooting you every couple years for most of your life. That's unfair. You say you are making great money now and the two of you are more than comfortable. Sounds like there's no necessity to move. You've been taking one for the team and supporting his every career choice for more than 2 decades. It's his turn to support you in your career. Not the asshole. You need to spell it out for husband that you've never enjoyed moving. You've always done it to support his career, but it's not required at this point in time, and it's time for him to support your career plus social circle desires. Did he know how much you disliked it? At least he's doing the right thing and discussing it with you before he applies. Could he apply to the job and work remotely? Gotta have something good come out of the pandemic, right? Not the asshole. I'm so sorry you're going through this. It's so hard when you give you most of your life for someone else. You finally have settled down in a place you love, in a job you love, and you get to see your family more often. Info: do you guys have money issues in that your husband needs a new position? If not, it really seems like he is a selfish jerk to guilt trip you for not wanting to move again. You supported him your entire relationship. It's time for him to support you for once. Edit: spelling. Not the asshole. You repeatedly gave up your life to support his career aspirations. Marriage is a partnership, not one partner dragging the other around the country. You gave up years of working time for him that will have a negative impact on your ability to retire in the future. He can sacrifice for you for a change. My dad was in the Navy during my growing up years. We moved so much I went to 13 schools in 12 years. And we always moved in the middle of a school year, so I had to catch up with the class. The only stable time I had was in junior high and high school. I decided I was finished with moving this last move. God willing, I'm where I'm going to die. Now my husband is upset with me and guilt-tripping me because he claims I do not support him. Nasshole until this point. You're not supporting him, in fact you've been supporting him for half of your life. It's not fair for you to have to keep moving around, especially when you don't want to, after you've done it so many times already. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I don't think he is an asshole for wanting to move for a better job, particularly since that is the life your family has led this far. He is an asshole for claiming that you don't support him and intentionally trying to make you feel guilty. I think you need to help him understand the advantages of not moving and why you feel so strongly. Not the asshole. Your husband doesn't seem to value your opinion or needs very much, it seems. He's self-centered to the point that he thinks he can make huge life decisions and you'll just follow along with whatever he wants. You spent the first 20 years of your marriage following his career path, but now that you have a career and life outside of him, all of a sudden you're selfish for not wanting to give that up? God damn, just throw the whole husband away. I'm former military and it always horrified me the social networking and earning potential that civilian spouses give up. Even if you did work that whole time, the expectation would be that you dropped everything if he needed to go somewhere. I despise it. I loved traveling all over the world, but now that I'm out, I have to stay put for my goals. My husband is still in on active duty and he lives in another state because I refuse to lose any more college credit moving place to place. He supports me and we have a plan for the next 8 years. Remember that after being married that long, you're entitled to at least half of his military retirement pay, but not his disability should you end things. Not the asshole, and good for you. It is time for him to support you. Not the asshole. You supported his career for all those years, it's time he supports yours now. Like you said, he does not need to provide anymore because you have a good job now. It seems he can't handle not being the provider anymore. Sucks for him, but he needs to step into the 21st century. Not the asshole, you've always supported him. Now it's his turn to support your career. This is something serious that you both need to have an honest conversation about. What do you want your lives to look like? Where do you want to be? These are something that can't be compromised on, and it's important you are on the same page. Did he assume you'd forever be following him wherever he went? Does he constantly want to be looking for the next better thing for himself? Could you be happy settling where you are now and never move again? These are things you should both think about. Not the asshole, but your husband has been selfish throughout your whole marriage, so this really should not come as a surprise. Not the asshole. And #X200B. As a Navy spouse, I feel this in my bones. He's not at retirement yet, but we've been discussing what to do and where to go afterwards. I know what I want to do, but we still are discussing together because we're a family and one doesn't get to make decisions for the whole. Hopefully he comes to his senses and listens to what you have to say. Not the asshole. I'd list the times you've moved for his career in a table, and the times where he's wanted to move and you've vetoed it. And the number of times you've moved for your career, and the number of times he's vetoed it. And the number of times you've done all the actual work of moving, and the number of times he has. And the number of years you were a SOM raising his children. And couch him till he apologies for saying you're not supporting his career. What an ass. And 100% do not move. How selfish he is. But maybe it's best if he does go alone. Ask him exactly what he has ever sacrificed for your career before? Not the asshole. I think you may have fallen down on the job by not communicating with your husband in the past about how upsetting these moves have been. It may seem like you are arbitrarily refusing to move now, but he should know how you feel and how you have felt about moving in the past. Not the asshole. Where you choose to live as a family is a joint decision, and not just about his pay. It may well benefit your family for you to have disposable income, but he needs to understand there's a bunch of pros and cons of upping sticks. He's not had to deal with some of the cons. He's being selfish, and unfortunately being part of a family means he needs to take other people's views into consideration. Absolutely not the asshole. It's time for him to support your career and well-being after 2 decades of you doing it for him. Not the asshole. You have followed your husband all over the country for years. It's time he follows you for a while, and by follow, I mean not move again. NTA. You have moved many times and made sacrifices for his career. Time to put your foot down. Not the asshole. You finally have a life that you like and you supported him all those years. So maybe he can for once support you. Not the asshole. Sounds like your husband has ants in his pants. He is being extremely selfish, wanting you keep moving all the time. You're happy, you have friends, you're close to family. Don't move. No way are you an asshole. Relationships are compromise. Sometimes things work your way, sometimes they don't. It seems you have been compromising for a long time, so now it is time to do what you need to do. The point is, if he really wants the role and they want him, the company will find a way to make it work. If not, something else will come along. It inevitably does. Not the asshole. You deserve to have a stable home, and friends, and not have to do this again when it's unnecessary. Moving is mentally taxing, and you have given more than enough as is. Not the asshole. As a veteran, I can tell you you've been way more than accommodating. It's past time for him to support you by growing roots, and respecting all you've sacrificed to make his dreams happen. Not the asshole. Why does your career not matter? You spent more than 2 decades accommodating his career. Why is it so vastly beyond the pale that he might have to prioritize your career this time? If he holds this line, he is telling you that he views your job as being his wife, which is something you can do from anywhere, and he doesn't think your opinion matters. Listen to him. Believe him. He's been telling you who he is for 21 years and he's doubling down on it now. Not the asshole. It's his turn to support you and your career. Stand your ground. This is definitely the hill you should be willing to die on. Not the asshole. Not only is he being selfish, but he's being incredibly foolish. It would be very foolish in this economy to voluntarily move in a way that would put you out of work. Not the asshole. WTF, how dare he say you aren't supportive? Fuck that. He claims I do not support him. He needs a reality check. Support should be a two-way street. When is it his turn to support you? I know you think that you might be the asshole by making him possibly miss a career opportunity, but that cuts both ways too. If he takes the job, you'll be missing opportunities as well. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You sound like my mom. Years after the fact, I learned that when I was pregnant with my first, Dad was wanting to move. She apparently told him, bye. He will be 28 next month and my parents have only moved once, to a house 10 minutes from their old one. Please keep us updated op. You're selfish? You're unsupportive? What horse shit? You've been hopping all over the damn world like the most forgiving, dedicated wife I've ever heard of, and suddenly, you're the one who isn't being a good spouse in his eyes? Fuck that. I would have put my foot down a long time ago. He needs to take your feelings into account for once and stop chasing new opportunities. It sounds like he doesn't know how to settle and be thankful for what he has. More than that, he sounds ungrateful for and inconsiderate of you. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband is being incredibly selfish. You sacrificed so much already to support him. You're not even asking him to make a sacrifice here. You're just asking him to stay in the current situation. You're asking him not to ruin your happiness. What a jerk. Not the asshole. Your husband is throwing a fit because he isn't getting his way. Not the asshole. Sounds like you've done nothing but support him for 20+ years. Maybe he could try supporting you for once? Not the asshole. So you have to support him, but he doesn't have to support you? You have moved for him many times, and now you want your job to take priority. You have a whole list of reasons to stay where you are: close to family, close to your son, you like your job. The only reason to move is opportunity for your partner, who already has a job that supports you just fine, I'm assuming. It's not selfish to like where you live and your job, and the fact that he immediately called you selfish indicates that he thinks he is the center of the universe. Not the asshole. It's about time your husband supports you for once. Do not move for this man again. You've worked hard to get where you are. You're finally happy and have a life outside of the wife and mother role. You deserve this. Please don't let him take it away from you again. When I medically retired from the army and went to school, I dragged my husband, or rather he chose to pick up his life and follow me. I'm from California and currently live in Missouri because I allowed my husband to choose where we live when I finished school. He followed me for years. It was his turn to choose and he wanted the Midwest again, so here we are. If your husband understood the sacrifice you made for years, he should understand that you want to come first for once. That's my honest opinion. Not the asshole. He can go alone. What an ass. Not the asshole, nope. It's your turn. Would he move for you? This reminds me of the end of Friday Night Lights. It's his turn to support your career.